Awards. Box 101, let's go. Event of the year, obviously the one. Because it shattered every record. Almost every record, of course. It had the Lucas Matisse fight in there. And he also had the Mayweather versus Canelo. We thought Canelo's going to be much harder. But it's not like he got beat up, you know. So he did his thing. He just got schooled. He got a boxing lesson. So that's the event of the year right there. Next up, we got Pounding the Pavement Award. Still, Ellie Setback. ES News still pounding the pavement. Putting out the most videos out there. I mean, he got a lot of competition with Hustle Boss and, Radio Raheem. And we got Dante, Boxing Nation out there doing his thing. We still got Boxing Socialists, interview with Ja, doing their thing, but Ellie's still outworking these guys in the sense of sending out more videos. But the videos, they're not as intriguing as they used to be, putting out old stuff just to do it. They just to stay busy, so I could tell the work is not the same, but still better than others. Next up, we got Fighter of the Year. This has to be Mayweather only because there's a lot of good fighters, including Adonis Stevenson, Kovalev, Bradley, Denny Garcia, a lot of those other fighters. But Mayweather gets Fighter of the Year simply because he defended two belts, the welterweight belt and the junior middleweight belt, without probably, on the judges' card he lost, but he lost a round. But he probably didn't lose no more than 3 rounds fighting those championship fights against championship caliber fighters. Say what you want about Robert Guerrero. He did have belts in 4 different weight classes. He was a southpaw. He was bigger. And Mayweather was able to land 61% of his power punch on this guy. So when you look at the overall body of work, it's still a great accomplishment when you look at it. When you look at it in hindsight, you're thinking that's not that big of a. That wasn't that big. Maybe Robert Guerrero was not as good, but Robert Guerrero's as decorated fighter as you're gonna get. So Mayweather Fight of the Year, champion 2 different weight classes in the same year with 3 belts. Next up is Best Fighter with No Belt, and that's Erislandy Lara. I mean, this is gonna be tough for him to get a belt because one, I don't think he draws that good of a crowd. But two, he's hard to beat. You know, they tried him with the pressure fighter with Angulo, which knocked him down several times, and he ended up stopping Angulo. They tried him with the skill southpaw like Trout, and he stopped Trout. Well, he didn't stop Trout; he beat Trout. So maybe he did stop Trout. I forgot how that fight ended. To be honest with you, I was just shocked the way he was picking him apart. But in a fight where I thought Trout was gonna win that fight, and here goes Lara. So Lara's not gonna get a belt anytime soon. He's definitely not gonna get it from Canelo. He's not gonna get it from Floyd. So I don't know where he's gonna be looking to get that belt. But if he fights Molina, that's a tough matchup for him. So again, I'll go 50-50 on that one too. But still, the best fighter with no belt, Erislandy Lara. Round of the year, Molina versus Bay. I had to give it to them because Bey was winning the whole fight easily. Just tagging Molina at Bay. I mean, that's at Bay. Tag Molina anytime he wanted to, at will. And Molina came out of nowhere and just knocked him out. And it was around a year only because I was sitting there watching the fight and I was thinking, I can't believe this is happening. It just had that reminiscence look of, it wasn't as big as a fight as Chavez and I forgot his name, but well, so that's around the year. So overrated, underrated, over and under. Most overrated fighter of this year is actually Amir Khan. Uh, he's overrated just simply because he's being talked about as a potential fight with the pound for pound king. Um, he would be overrated if he was, if he was challenging Manny Pacquiao. That's, doesn't matter who he was gonna be fighting. He would be considered overrated in the sense of he hasn't looked impressive for a long time. Still hasn't beat Lamont. I don't care what anybody says. Still hasn't beat Prescott. Prescott knocked him out cold. I don't care if they say, oh, he improved since Prescott. He still hasn't beaten Prescott. And, he hasn't avenged Denny Garcia. And he's been knocked down in his last three fights. He's been knocked down. So, and underrated is Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is always, I don't know what fight he was into since he got that belt where they didn't think he was going to lose. People, the media, just constantly writing this guy off. Even as go as far as not to even put him, to outrank him every time he fights. So, Danny Garcia underrated. Amir Khan overrated. Commentator of the year, had to give it to Jim Watt. Watt, if anyone has the UK feed, you just love listening to this guy talk. He goes into it subject by subject. He doesn't talk about out of the ring issues. He doesn't talk about so and so. He just goes straight into commentating about the fight, and he is as fair as it's gonna get, even when it's a UK fighter fighting an American fighter. He's fair. He was fair when Carl Frost fought Andrew Ward. He was fair when what's that dude just lost? Anyways, but he's always fair.